Hello, and thanks for joining us. Here's what's happening right now. A possible step closer to peace.
This may not be acceptable to Russia. In fact, much of this plan may not be acceptable to Russia.
Now waiting for Russia's response as attacks continue.
It is designed to even this playing field.
The changes you could find on grocery shelves when the new code of conduct takes effect.
I'm going to really enjoy today, in spite of what we've been through for the last 4 weeks.
Plus the kind gesture in the holiday spirit for residents forced from their homes.
CTV National News with Sandy Ronaldo.
I'm Marcia McMillan in Today for Sandy. On the eve of Christmas, Santa has taken off for his busiest night of his year, delivering presents and holiday cheer around the world. While the team at NORAD tracks Old St. Nick and his reindeer's journey, Canada's Prime Minister Mark Carney has a holiday message as families begin to celebrate.
And although this year has brought more than its share of challenges to our country, we've also been reminded that we are fortunate to be part of one extraordinary, generous, and caring nation. That we're strongest when we're united, when we look out for each other, when we take care of each other. Merry Christmas and happy holidays, Canada, from my family to yours.
In his first holiday message as Prime Minister, Carney expressed how Christmas holds a special meaning to everyone, whether they are Christians or followers of other faiths and traditions. A white Christmas is guaranteed in Alberta this year as a winter storm hits the province and extreme cold disrupts Yukon's power grid. Environment Canada is warning of extreme cold and heavy snow, approximately 10 to 20 centimeters across central and northern Alberta. The snowstorm arrives as the prairies remain in a deep freeze, with wind chills between -45 and -50. Yukon is also experiencing frigid temperatures around -40 Celsius. That's putting the territory's power grid under major strain. Canada's long-awaited grocery code of conduct is just days away from taking effect. The voluntary set of standards is meant to guide how grocery retailers and their suppliers interact with one another, with the goal of making the food supply chain fairer and more transparent. CTV's Scott Hurst now with more on the code of conduct and what it means in practice.
Shoppers are making last-minute trips to the grocery store to get all the holiday fixings.
Stuff to make pancakes for breakfast tomorrow.
Some baby spinach.
Is that for the big feast?
That's for the big feast. That's the only thing I forgot.
But high prices leading to an expensive bill at the checkout continue to cut away some holiday cheer.
Usually prices is going up.
Through 2025, Canadians have been dealing with food inflation that remains stubbornly high, keeping affordability as a top concern for much of the year.
Everything is going a little bit up, and then you realize the next month is more expensive and more expensive.
But beginning on January 1st, something new for the food industry, a grocery code of conduct.
Code of conduct is very simply a framework or a set of guidelines on the relationship between grocers and their suppliers.
Top grocers have all agreed to sign on. It's expected to promote a more fair and transparent supply chain, clear standards for a better commercial relationship between the supplier and seller. According to experts, it could lead to more choice and potentially level the playing field for some smaller stores and suppliers.
The big thing you might see is a little more variation of supply.
So it begs the question, will it have an impact on prices?
The transparency is good, the dispute settlement mechanism is good, but don't expect decreased food prices because of the grocery code of conduct.
Expect food to take a bigger bite of your budget next year. In fact, the latest food price report produced by several Canadian universities is projecting the average family of four to pay about $1,000 more, with food inflation likely staying elevated at 4 to 6%. Marcia?
Scott Hurst in Toronto. Thank you, Scott. A lot of farmers in Nova Scotia are finding it hard to be festive this year. A hay shortage has caused problems when it comes to feeding animals, leading to fears about the long-term impacts for agriculture in the province. CTV's Paul Hollingsworth is standing by with more. Paul, what led to this?
Marcia, it's another example of the drought in 2025 having a major impact here in Nova Scotia. Earlier this year, Nova Scotia beef and sheep farmer Alicia King thought 2025 was shaping up to be a prosperous season.
And then we had no rain.
The province was hit with record-breaking drought, which resulted in a hay shortage. King is also the president of the Nova Scotia Federation of Agriculture and says the shortage is causing a major financial setback, leaving farmers with two options.
Buy in feed if they've got room, if they've got some margin space there to buy in feed. If they don't, then they're probably going to look at selling off the herd, some of the herd, in order to compensate for how much feed they have.
RJ Dillman uses hay for his own animals and sells it for profit.
This year we're about 200 bales short.
Dillman is bracing for even more feed shortages in the future.
I will be flat on my face when I start making next year's crop.
Farmers can also purchase hay from Western Canada at a time when the federal government is removing barriers to interprovincial trade.
Ottawa has actually laid out a pretty solid roadmap.
But Dalhousie University professor Sylvain Charlebois says provinces need to streamline shipping methods so farmers can save money.
Which province has actually done the work to make sure that products like hay, for example, and feed can actually be hauled? Trucking rules do vary from one province to another, and that tends to cost more money, and it actually slows things down.
According to Alicia King, the impact of the drought and hay shortages are long-lasting, and there are fears for the future. Another dry summer in 2026 could be devastating and come at a time when farmers in Nova Scotia are already struggling. Marcia.
Paul, thank you for that. Police in Prince Edward Island have arrested and charged a 25-year-old man in connection with multiple alleged hate crimes related to anti-Semitic social media posts. The RCMP say a firearm was also seized at his residence. CTV's Maria Saru now on what police are saying is the province's first ever hate crime charges. Maria.
Marcia, police here say they laid these charges with public safety in mind. Both the Mounties and Jewish advocacy groups are pointing to the Bondi Beach tragedy as an example of the devastating impact hate-motivated crime can have.
Police say this is a part of the criminal code they've never had to use before on the island until now.
We certainly recognize that inciting hatred and making commentary like this has extreme possible consequences.
A Facebook account that appears to belong to 25-year-old Mathen Roonigan seems to have been wiped. But Jewish human rights organization B'nai B'rith released several screenshots of his social media posts. In one, the word virus is written next to the Star of David. Under it, the word antivirus next to a swastika. In another post, Roonigan writes, "Just remember that the Jews are the enemy and always have been and always will be."
If you saw what happened in Australia recently, the idea of promoting any kind of narrative which equates the Jewish people with anybody doing anything hateful is out of place.
The accused is facing 2 hate crime charges for the public promotion of hatred towards Jews and willful promotion of anti-Semitism. That in addition to 4 firearm charges.
The accused is in custody and is scheduled to appear in PEI Supreme Court on January 13th to answer to all the charges. Marcia.
Maria Saru in Charlottetown, thank you. The United States and Ukraine have reportedly reached a consensus on the key issues in the U.S.-backed peace plan for Ukraine. Russia has yet to respond to the latest proposal to end the nearly 4-year-long conflict, and today the violence continued. CTV's Abigail Beeman now on what's in the latest plan and what could happen next. Abigail.
Marcia, this is an updated version of that 28-point peace plan of a few weeks ago. Experts are skeptical that Russia will agree to it. Ukraine released this video of a Russian attack on Zaporizhia, home to a major nuclear plant. Russia released drone footage of what it calls troop advancement and airstrikes in Donetsk. Both areas the Ukrainian president says are still sticking points in the new peace plan. Volodymyr Zelensky says his negotiating team came back from the United States managing to strengthen the 20-point draft. And in a Christmas message, Zelensky says we ask for peace.
профессионально и вовлеченно.
While the Kremlin said Vladimir Putin has been briefed and Moscow will now formulate its position.
It could be the ultimate protection.
The head of the Ukrainian-Canadian Congress is talking about the draft deal's promise of security guarantees that mirror Article 5, the NATO collective defense principle that means an armed attack against one member is considered an attack against all.
It is a sincere need on the behalf of the Ukrainian government.
But much skepticism from experts that Russia will agree.
I don't believe that Vladimir Putin would accept that sort of a security guarantee. But if that were a part of that and it were agreed to by both sides, then yes, absolutely, Canada would be drawn into any sort of conflict if that security guarantee was provided to Ukraine.
Global Affairs tells CTV News Canada welcomes progress made and, quote, commends the significant efforts of President Trump and President Zelensky and their teams. Meanwhile, the French president says he met with the head of NATO to discuss work within the Coalition of the Willing, a group of Ukraine's allies, of which Canada is a member. Marcia?
Abigail, thank you. Coming up, retracing the tumultuous twists and turns.
You don't have the cards right now.
Looking back at the year of President Trump. The Trump administration is barring 5 Europeans, including a former EU commissioner, from entering the U.S. over their attempts to curb online hate. The White House says the sanctions are meant to target what it calls digital censorship. Thierry Breton of France helped push forward the EU's Digital Services Act, which is intended to combat hateful speech. The act has recently taken aim at top U.S. tech companies and social media platforms. 4 other people who fight digital hate and track disinformation are also banned from entering the U.S. The EU, France, and Germany are slamming the bans. Well, it's been quite a year for U.S. President Donald Trump as he reveled in his return to power and relied on executive orders to put forward his agenda. The president reasserted White House control over pretty much everything. With a look back on Trump's second presidency so far, here's CTV's Washington Bureau Chief, Joy Malbon.
Welcome to the final cabinet meeting of 2025.
Inviting the cameras in to effectively live stream his presidency, Donald Trump's second term is all about pushing the boundaries of presidential power. His first order of business, mass deportations, hard-line immigration tactics that helped get him elected. From the southern border to stepping up deportations in American cities, armed and masked ICE agents arresting and detaining people.
I want a lawyer! We're going to go the wrong way if we keep taking in garbage into our country.
The president calls it fighting the enemy within. Critics call it un-American. From declaring war on the border to war on the sea, the president deployed America's military to blow up suspected drug boats in international waters, declaring those on board, even survivors, narco-terrorists. The Pentagon now facing accusations of possible war crimes.
I love tariffs. Most beautiful word.
True to his word, Donald Trump also weaponized trade, slapping steep tariffs on longtime trading partners, singling out Canada, Mexico, and China.
My fellow Americans, this is Liberation Day.
And imposing universal tariffs on nations around the world, calling it a national security issue. World leaders would come with flattery and invites.
It's an invitation for a second state visit. This is really special.
All trying to make a trade deal.
I made 7 deals, and now it's solved the wars.
From deal maker to peacemaker, the president brokered and enforced a U.S.-backed ceasefire between Israel and Hamas with the help of Qatar and Egypt.
This took 3,000 years to get to this point. Can you believe it? And it's going to hold up, too.
Trump strong-arming Israel's prime minister to stop bombing Gaza and embrace a truce, leading to the release of the Israeli hostages. But it was the war Trump said he could solve in 24 hours, Russia's invasion of Ukraine, that eludes him still, with the world watching a moment in the Oval Office like no other.
You're not winning this. You don't have the cards right now. With us, you start having cards. Right now, you don't. You're playing cards.
belittling President Zelensky for resisting pressure to cave to Russia. And when Trump's red carpet rollout for Russia's Vladimir Putin later netted nothing, peace talks stalled. The president's foreign policy invited dictators and autocrats to invest. Hosting the Saudi crown prince, Trump defended Mohammed bin Salman when questioned about the Saudi-linked murder of journalist Jamal Khashoggi.
A lot of people didn't like that gentleman that you're talking about. Whether you like him or didn't like him, things happen. You don't have to embarrass our guest by asking a question like that.
And things have happened. All criminal charges against the president effectively gone, and he pardoned his supporters, including violent offenders who attacked the Capitol January 6th, trying to block Joe Biden's 2020 election. But cracks are beginning to show among his staunchest supporters. Trump promised to release the files on the late convicted pedophile Jeffrey Epstein. Accountability for survivors, Trump said. But now?
It's all been a big hoax. It's perpetrated by the Democrats.
Despite Trump's pushback, dozens of Republicans broke ranks, voting to release the files.
He called me a traitor for standing with these women.
Even Jimmy Kimmel took on Trump and won after the president pressured regulators to cancel his show over controversial comments about conservative activist Charlie Kirk's murder. Kimmel hit back, defending free speech.
This country has become so authoritarian, the Germans are like, come here.
The White House has seized control of the press pool, excluding certain reporters and denigrating others.
I think the license should be taken away from ABC because your news is so fake.
All that in just 1 year, with 3 more to go. Joy Malvin, CTV News, Washington.
A dog walker got a royal surprise when she stumbled across Prince William and former Manchester City soccer player Jill Scott filming in a park.
Hello. It's okay, don't worry. It's okay. Oh my God.
Don't worry.
The heartwarming moment happened while the Prince of Wales and Jill Scott were shooting a promotional video for the charity Fields and Trust, which protects the UK's parks, playgrounds, play fields, and green spaces. The organization shared the video of the woman's shocked reaction to the royal encounter on social media. We'll be right back. Police ride checks are in full force over the holidays, looking for drivers under the influence. In Winnipeg, police say they've already stopped a number of impaired drivers. CTV's Alex Carpenow with the story of one family who lost their daughter and their message to everyone on the road this holiday season.
This is my bookcase of my favorite pictures of Jordan.
Karen Reimer has photos of her daughter Jordan all over her house. It's the only physical memories she has left of her.
These photos bring a whole mix of emotion.
The 24-year-old was killed by an impaired driver in May of 2022.
Our lives were immediately destroyed the day that Jordan was killed.
Reimer says the last few years have been extremely difficult and adds that the pain worsens over time.
You get to a point where you are trying to just figure out how you're going to survive it.
Over 1,100 Winnipeg drivers were stopped by police during the third week of the city's Check Stop program. 36 of those drivers were found to be under the influence of drugs and/or alcohol, which is 14 more than the previous week's results.
It's so frustrating that people are still making those decisions.
Traffic Injury Research Foundation data shows impaired driving deaths rose 14% between 2021 to 2022, from 457 to 521. In 2025, 9.2% of drivers admitted driving over the legal limit, up from 5.9% in 2024.
None of it's worth the chance of you getting injured or killed, your passengers getting injured or killed, or someone else getting injured or killed.
As for Reimer, she continues to share her daughter's story in the hopes that other families don't go through the same pain she still experiences.
It's very short-sighted to think this won't happen to me, because it happens to anybody.
Reimer says the message is simple. If you're going to drive, don't be under the influence of drugs or alcohol, and adds it's important not to talk about this just during the holidays, but throughout the entire year. Marcia.
Alex, thank you for that. Many Canadians will be hoping for a holiday season miracle with $126 million up for grabs in the next Lotto Max draw. The $80 million jackpot went unclaimed once more, so that grand prize will be available again, plus 46 Max Million prizes worth $1 million apiece, also waiting to be won. While the $126 million is a massive prize, it's not the biggest ever. The record still holds from 2021 with $140 million in prizes. The next draw is on Boxing Day, Friday. Good luck. It's been nearly a month since hundreds of residents at 2 Toronto condo buildings were forced out of their homes because of a stubborn fire. In the spirit of the holidays, one hotel is trying to make their Christmas brighter. CTV's Alison Hurst has the story.
I wouldn't be making any cranberry this year, but I'll be having some.
Jackie Julian won't be making it because she and nearly 150 other residents from her condo building have been living in the Don Valley Hotel for almost a month.
I'm going to really enjoy today, in spite of what we've been through for the last 4 weeks.
Staff put on a holiday feast for residents of 11 Thorncliffe Park and 21 Overlea Boulevard. Many have been staying here since a fire sparked November 27th and burned in the walls for almost 2 weeks.
And they wanted to do something for the residents. They wanted to put together something. So, we reached out to some vendors. We reached out to the chef and asked him if he would cook for us.
Vendors provided gifts as well, trying to bring some festive cheer as residents wait to find out when they can return home.
The first couple of weeks were a little tense, these people were really in dire straits, right? And I think if that happened to any of us, I think we would be the same way.
The fire ruined Gregory Vass and his family's Christmas plans.
It's really, I would say, some sad Christmas for us.
Now planning to spend the day at a relative's home, they were supposed to host the holidays.
But everything got cancelled because of this.
Engineers are assessing the buildings, but still residents haven't been given a timeline on returning.
You get really tired of eating sandwiches and prepared stuff.
Michelle Lachey and Carol Church are trying to make their room homey.
We got ourselves some normal metal cutlery instead of eating off of plastic. We got some dishes from the dollar store, so we have kind of real utensils to deal with. I bought myself a little red blanket so I could wrap myself in a festive blanket.
The silver lining for Annika Salazar is she's enjoying a meal with everyone she's bonded with throughout this difficult time.
It's been rough because we haven't been at home, but at least we're all together now.
The cause and the origin of the fire remain under investigation. Alison Hurst, CTV News, Toronto.
That is our newscast for this December 24th. I'm Marcia McMillan. We leave you with pictures of midnight mass at the Vatican. Merry Christmas and happy holidays.